Hey, good afternoon, Horizon Church. I don't know how many of you are literature majors in college. I was a humanities major, took a lot of literature, but there's an old poem by a guy named T.S. Eliot called The Wasteland, and the first sentence of that poem says, "April is the cruelest month." Now, I have no idea why or what he meant, but that is obviously true. And thank goodness we are coming to the end of April. Today's the last day of April. And I think May is going to be a lot better for us, I believe. I'm hoping anyway. But I don't know what kind of a prophet that dude was, but April certainly has been the cruelest month. I want to give you a little bit of an update about kind of where we're headed as a church and what is going on. And honestly, none of us are prophets, and I think that a lot of this is guesswork, but we're doing our very best to kind of take a look at the future and guess about what's happening. And the leaders and the elders who've been meeting along with the staff, Andy and Joanne and I, we were really prepared to kind of make week-by-week adjustments in our schedule, particularly as we head into May, the month in which we think that we'll start some kind of reopening as a church and as a society. So you probably know, if you've heard the news, that Governor Wolf is saying that on May 8th, that at least certain regions in Pennsylvania will begin reopening. That is almost certainly not our region, not in this area. We likely won't see any change really impacting us as a church for the foreseeable future at some point in May, but we don't know when that's going to be. But that May 8th opening date isn't going to impact us in our particular region. That's going to be other parts of PA. Now, just so that you do know, what we're thinking and what we're planning for, what we believe is going to happen, is that even when we do get the okay to reopen and we'll be parts of society, those areas like restaurants, etc., that will get some kind of a reopening when that happens. My educated guess is that really it's not going to be the reopening that we were hoping for. We're not going to get an all of a sudden, hey, you guys can get back to doing business as usual. Almost certainly what's going to happen when we reopen is that there's still going to be in place certain restrictions about the number of people that are allowed to get together. Some of those regions that are going to be opening on May 8th, even in those areas, the group gatherings are still going to be limited to groups of 25 or less. So that really impacts kind of what we're thinking about. Now, that means that there are going to be some things that we're going to be able to get back to doing, maybe some small group meetings, etc., in place. But almost certainly, we won't be able to meet as a church on Sunday morning. We don't even know when that's going to happen yet, but that's not going to happen right away. But what we've been talking about and what we've been thinking about is that we've proven that we're able to do this kind of online video services, at least for the foreseeable future. We'll probably be continuing those indefinitely for people who can't get to meet with us, can't meet with us on the Sunday mornings. But we've proven that that's possible to do, and we've also proven that it's possible for you. Gotten lots of positive feedback about those services. So one of the things you may want to start thinking about right now is when we get the okay to meet, even in groups, 25 or less, we may be encouraging you to invite some other families over to your home or get together in small groups to do church, kind of just one step up from what we're doing now. So you may want to start thinking about that, and as we get closer to that day, that's something we'll be talking more about, but at least get that plugged in your brain. Because I really think that's going to be the next step for us. There will be able to be some people here. I don't know how we're going to do that, but obviously there'll be some people meeting at church on Sunday mornings. But it's not going to be all of us for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, I do want to let you know that in the same way that we were already going down the path of putting a video system in place prior to this happening, before this ever started, we were in the process as leaders of thinking about how do we create more space in the building. Some of you know that we're in this building, it'll be 6 years, and we've really outgrown this space, and we've been processing how do we do that. So we've been in the process of trying to create more usable space. So when you do show up here, you'll see that in our lobby area, we took down a wall. Noah's been working hard along with some other people, took down a wall and created more space in the cafe area, which is going to be absolutely essential when we get back together, that we have some more space to do this social distancing dance that we've been doing. So at least for us, God's been really good to us. and kind of preparing us ahead of time for what we didn't even know was coming. So I think we'll be ready with some of those things when it happens. The other thing we're doing is we know that the governor is going to require certain building safety standards when people start getting together, and we've been preparing for that as well. Been trying to order some masks. I know that probably a lot of you have your own mask, which is a cool thing, but we've been trying to get ready with masks that we think we'll have to have available when we meet, as well as hand sanitizer. We've been ordering some of that in bulk, and some of it finally came in today. And some of it we've been giving away to people who absolutely need it, but we're going to keep some available so that when we reopen, we'll have what we need to meet the governor's safety standards. So we've been doing that stuff to get ready. A couple other updates for you. I know that some of you have been asking about this, and as you know, we've never made a big deal about giving at Horizon Church. It's obviously part of our relationship to God that we're generous people, but we've just tried to shy away from standing here and always talking about money and giving and all that. But do want to let you know that we're doing okay. I'm so grateful to all of you who have been online giving. That online giving has really gone up from what it was as a percentage of our giving. And I know a lot of you have either dropped off or you sent checks. And those few of us who are here on Sunday morning, we're still putting our offering in the boxes. So thank you so much for those who've been giving. We truly are grateful. All of our bills are paid. Our staff continues to get paid, and we're very grateful. So speaking of our staff, we're all still working our regular hours. Joanne is still here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday during her regular working hours, and our workload has adjusted. One of the things that Joanne has been doing that's really cool is there are some people in our church who have no access to the internet or to computers. So Joanne, every week, she's been taking the hard copy of my messages. She's been combining them with the PowerPoint that I do with her pictures. She's been making hard copies and sending them out to people from Horizon every week who don't have any other access to computers, and just trying to keep people connected that way. So Joanne's still working. Andy's been here working. In fact, he right now is sitting behind his camera and helping us out do this, and he'll edit this. But he's also been meeting with the youth through Zoom, and he's also been getting not only Zooming, but he's been getting a rooming ready, the Zoom and room kind of stuff. Best I could do. But he's working down in the youth room, getting that ready, and some of you have seen the pictures online. So when the youth finally get an okay to meet, you guys are going to have a really cool space that's all your own. So he's been working hard doing some planning as well, putting in probably more hours than we're paying him for. I'm still doing everything that requires, and I would say for all three of us, several people have asked, are you busier than ever? There's a degree in which, that's been the case. We have not experienced what some of you are experiencing, the days off. And I would say we're busier than ever, really just because this has all gotten so much more complicated. What we're putting out really hasn't changed. It's just gotten a lot harder to do what we're doing. So it's certainly more complicated for us, but we're still doing our jobs and still here, and you can obviously feel free to contact us all through the normal channels. Now, I also want to let you know what's going to happen in the future. I think all of us went into this thinking that this was a temporary thing, that there would come a day 5-6 weeks in the future when, we'd all get the green light, go back to work, go back to life. And we're pretty sure, as I've already said, that's not going to happen. So we've had to face the fact that we probably have to figure out ways to do ministry for the foreseeable future with all ages, not just our Sunday morning video broadcasts that we've been doing. So some of you know, if you're parents of preschool kids, you know that every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock on our YouTube channel, Donna does a special lesson for our preschool kids. It's always there on our YouTube channel, even if you don't see it live. Your preschool kids can access that at any time for a lesson from Donna for the preschool ages. This Tuesday night, May 5th, I think it is, Jill Krevling is going to start a weekly lesson for all of our kids from kindergarten through 8th grade. Now that's going to be on Zoom. I'm not going to give out on YouTube all that Zoom information. So if you have kids K through 8th grade, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, Jill is going to start doing that. Now, I'm not sure yet. We haven't figured out. We know it can be recorded, but to record it, you got to get some permissions from some parents, etc. So that may be accessible at any time. Not 100% sure about that. But to get the Zoom information, please contact the church office. Contact either Jill or myself or Joanne. And as soon as we know those Zoom account numbers, we'll give that to you privately. I'm not going to put that out on a public place like YouTube. But that starts this Tuesday night, 7 o'clock on Zoom. Andy, as you know, he's going to be updating all of our youth probably next week about what's going to be happening with our youth, how we're going to keep connected, and kind of predicting a little bit about where we're headed. So you can look for that from Andy next week. Now, just some things coming up. Next Sunday, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday, May 10th, is Mother's Day. Now, we were just going to do kind of a normal YouTube thing on Mother's Day, but we've had a couple cool ideas. So moms, and actually family for everybody, please pay attention to announcements that are going to be made this Sunday and on our 2 Facebook pages, as well as the email, because we got a cool thing we're going to do for moms on Mother's Day. It involves kind of a drive-by thing. So that's going to happen on Mother's Day. We're going to just do something for our moms, as well as moms in our neighborhood and our community. So that's coming up on Mother's Day. Also, this coming Sunday, May, whatever it is, May 3rd, we are going to do communion during our service. First Sunday of the month, typically that's the time when we take communion. So just let you know to prepare yourself ahead of time for this Sunday's YouTube service. Plan now to have some stuff available, something to drink and something to eat for our communion on this Sunday. Also, just a quick update for those of you who are helping out with our blessing box out in the corner. The blessing box has really picked up in the last 3-4 weeks. That blessing box is being used very heavily by community members. It probably gets emptied twice a day. So there's a bunch of people who are helping with that. Thank you so much for what you're doing. It really is something that is very much appreciated and frankly probably needed right now. Also, we just had people do the Wawa pickup. You know, there's a Wawa store in Fountain Hill. We're part of a program where now 2 times a week we pick up items that would be thrown out. Those items are getting used in many ways to help homeless right in our community. There was a guy here this morning picking up for some of our homeless youth. Many of you know that all of the facilities that provide care, they're really shut down. People cannot get into those, like things like the rescue mission in some of those places. They're not taking new clients right now. The homeless population has really increased in our neighborhood and our community. Some of the camps have a lot of people. That's being used for homeless camps and some other halfway houses, as well as some people from Horizon. So thank you so much, those of you willing to pick up the Wawa food and make that available to some in our region who need it. Also, one thing we're going to do that is brand new, not this coming Tuesday night, which again would be May 5th, but on a Tuesday evening. Now, I know this conflicts with what Jill is doing, but it's the only night that works really for our schedule. We're going to do a Tuesday testimony night, at least one for now, and that's coming up on May, I forget what it is, May 12th. 2 Tuesdays from now. We're going to do that on Zoom, and what we're looking for is we'll just open up a Zoom meeting, 7 o'clock on that Tuesday evening, for people who want to really just kind of chat and share testimonies on that Tuesday night. If any of you would love to share your testimony, it can be a testimony of how you came to Christ. In fact, some of you I know very recently in one of our services have made decisions to become followers of Jesus. We'd love to hear from you, hear how God's at work in your life. Maybe some of you just want to talk about, going through this experience and what you've learned about God and yourself. So that's coming up May 12th. That'll be a Tuesday testimony night. Now, again, I'm not giving out Zoom information on YouTube. So if you want to participate in that as we get closer, just contact the church office and we'll give you the Zoom account number as well as the password you'll need to participate in that. So that's stuff that's going on. I do, again, just as we've been doing, really want to just say a huge thank you to everybody who has really worked very, very hard to make all of this happen. I want to thank Andy for what he's doing with the youth and in our building. He's here a lot doing work, making these videos right now available to us. You know that Andy's here every Sunday morning, not only giving a message to the youth, but Andy's the one that's working hard to keep us connected on some of the comments, etc., on YouTube on Sunday morning. So he's doing a great job. Again, just a big thank you to Stephen Hinkle, who's just worked extraordinarily hard to make all this tech stuff work, way above and beyond what he's getting paid for, because he gets paid. But he's doing a great job for us with tech stuff. Really, really grateful to him. I want to thank Hope McCorkle, too, who's been here an awful lot. Hope does a great job with the cameras and making some things work for us. Another kind of a tech guru that frankly, I've been leaning on. So I want to thank Hope McCorkle. I want to thank our band that shows up here to practice and shows up on Sunday mornings. I want to thank the 3 people who sit at the tech table every Sunday morning, Betty Caller, Reese Bartman, and Melissa Schneck. They've just made stuff work. And then also just thank our elders and our leaders who've really just been very diligent in figuring out how do we do church, especially how do we move forward. So a lot of people that we're very grateful for, as well as all of you who just continue to be the church in a really difficult time. So thanks a lot. Again, we're here. Feel free to contact us anytime. Keep praying for our church, pray for our leaders, pray for our communities, pray for areas around the world that are really hit hard by what's going on and who don't have the resources that we have, where people are really, really suffering. So thank you all, love you all, and I hope to see you this Sunday, 9:45 on YouTube.